Hi there guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to another episode here on the Brazilian Expat. I hope you're all doing fantastic. Before we kick off this video, I would just want to give you a little recap of what's been going on in my life and at my business and so forth. Now, for those of you who are not interested and want to jump straight into the topic, feel free to just skip ahead and just watch the main video. But I know for some of you guys who have been following me, it's been way too long since my latest upload. And of course, as always, there's always a reason for it. I usually give these excuses in the beginning of every video because the fact is, I'd love to post more content on my channel. The thing is, it's just, I'm still in that phase where I'm trying to figure things out, especially after the pandemic, the divorce and everything. I'm just gonna give you a little recap of what's been going on, okay guys? So the number one reason is basically I'm still doing a lot of upgrades to all of the rooms. In case you don't know, if you're new to my channel, I do have a business here in Brazil. I do run a bed and breakfast. It's a small bed and breakfast, mainly with 10 rooms, but it's doing quite well. These, especially after the pandemic now, I'm trying to really up the game a little bit. I'm spending a small fortune in upgrading all of the rooms, the exteriors as well. Just trying to make it a better place. This obviously, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of resources, a lot of money, I'm spending quite a lot. I've been quite busy with that, and I'd love to make a video also just to show you the before and after shots, and I'm gonna post a video on that because there are significant changes both to the exterior, to the garden and to the kitchen, where we serve breakfast, but also the biggest difference is probably in the rooms themselves. I've been doing a lot of upgrading. I think it turns out fantastic. I'm now at my very last room that I'm gonna upgrade, and that should be it. What remains are just like small minor decorations and just the final touches. But I think the overall, everything turned out just absolutely fantastic. So I can't wait to show you guys what I've actually done with the place. But all of this stuff, it takes a lot of, it just takes a lot of my time because I do have, another business going on in Norway, the country where I'm actually from. And I do quite a bit of traveling back and forth still between Brazil and Norway. My main goal is to actually retire here in Brazil, or at least, just work with the bed and breakfast. The reason why I'm gonna wait is just solely because even though the bed and breakfast, it's doing actually quite fine, the business is relatively good. After the pandemic and everything that's going on, especially now with the global economy, with the war in Ukraine and everything, inflation is a huge factor also in this. That, in the tourist industry, it's really hard to foresee the future, anything can happen. If we do have a new pandemic, we're gonna have a new lockdown, if I don't have something on the side, a different source of income, that can be quite risky. The reason I'm still keeping my job, my business here in Norway is I just want to wait and see just how things plays out. If we can get back to a normal everyday life as it was before the pandemic. Now, another reason why I've been so busy is just the fact that I am being taken to court here in Brazil. And it sounds really serious, it looks like I'm smiling. Yeah, I'm really not, I'm really not happy about this, but of course, I do have a good lawyer and, it's all gonna work out. The only thing that I'm a little bit worried about is how much I actually have to pay. Now, why am I being taken to court? The reason for that is I basically had to lay off one of my employers. And I'm gonna make a video of this later on because, I still have to go to court. When everything is settled, I would love to make a video and I just explain in detail exactly what happened and how everything played out. But the thing is, it's just a question of how much I actually have to pay in the end, Of course, I did my part by the books, as they call it here in Brazil. But here in Brazil, nothing is really by the books. You can do everything right, everything is correctly, but then there is still certain factors. It's really easy for an employee here just to basically lie and tell them that they have to work extra hours and so forth and so forth. In the end though, everything has to be proven. You actually need proof that you actually worked extra and whatever. So in my case, luckily my other staff, they are supporting me 100%, and that is the reason I had to lay off this person, because she was not really liked by the other employees. And basically I had an ultimatum, because all of my staff, they called me and they told me basically that this person, she needs to go, or everybody else will basically just leave the business, because they couldn't stand working with this person. It's really unfortunate, because she was actually quite a good worker. I quite enjoyed having her at the business. But then again, if everybody else is gonna leave, it's really hard to find people with experience. So I figure like a staff of 3 experienced people is better than 1 experienced, and it's easier to replace her than to replace 3 other people. So I basically had no choice. I had to lay her off. But of course she was not happy. She's taken me to court because she wants more compensation, more money. But anyways, that is for another time, okay? That is gonna be another video. I just want to explain to you why I've been so busy, and there's just been so much going on my mind at the moment. And but I think everything will turn out for the best. So that is also a reason why it's been taking forever just to be able to sit down, relax, and make some content for you guys. Okay, so let's just jump straight into today's topic. Of course, as you probably know already, I actually spent a couple of nights at a Brazilian motel. Now, for those of you who haven't been to Brazil before, I mean, if you've been to Brazil already a couple times, you've probably seen that along the roadsides there are a lot of these motels. However, they are quite different from the motels that you're used to, for example, in the US, where it's just like a basic hotel room. It's the only difference really is it's just a lot simpler. There you don't have all the amenities and all the luxury that you will find at a hotel. So it's just a room basically with a bed and a TV, and that's it. Here in Brazil, it's something totally different, and I actually documented it, and it's really interesting, and it's actually a genius concept. So firstly, I want to just explain why I took the decision to actually spend an entire weekend here at a motel. The reason for it is that, a couple of months ago, they had like a big festival here in Fortaleza. It's called the Fortal. It's basically like a local festival that they throw here, and it's only here in this city. It's a huge festival, it's basically like a mini carnival, and they close the streets, they have parades, and they have just put a bunch of music, and it's basically just a good time for a couple of days. A lot of big bands, they come to the city, hold their free concerts. But the thing is that during this weekend where the festival happened, I was quite late, because usually I wanted to spend the weekend. I usually spend the weekends here in the big cities, although my business is basically an hour and a half away from the big city of Fortaleza. So I wanted to spend the weekend here in the city, and basically what happened was that I was too late, and because of this festival, all the hotels were basically full. The few available hotels, they were charging like just crazy amounts just to stay for a couple of nights. And that's when I started to looking at alternatives, So I actually came across this motel. I know personally what a motel is, because I've been there several years ago, just as when I started dating my ex-wife, in the very early days. And I'm basically now going to tell you what a Brazilian motel is, okay? Because like I previously mentioned, it is something totally different than what you're used to in the US, for example. The main concept of a motel here in Brazil, it's basically a room that you can rent for an hour if you like, but usually people rent it for like 2, 3, 4 hours, and that's it. So why is that? Well, because the motels here, the concept is basically you rent this room, you go there with the girl, and you have sex, you have intercourse, that's it. And when you're done, you leave. And believe it or not, that is basically the main concept. And why it's so popular here, you can ask yourself, why don't people take them, to a normal hotel or motel, whatever? Well, the thing is, first of all, people here, they like to be discreet, okay? Now, I mean, I'm not gonna go too much into detail here, but I mean, there is a culture here of cheating on your wife, cheating on your husband, whatever. There is that culture here, unfortunately. But I think another idea is like a lot of people, especially a lot of these young people, that maybe they haven't come out into the workforce properly yet. They're still studying. There could be students, and they live together home with their parents. Okay, all of these adolescents, they can go out. They will meet other people, get together. If they get it on and they don't have a place to come back to, they want to go, the whole way, and they don't have a place to go. So the guy, he can't take her back to her parents' house because obviously the parents won't like it, and vice versa as well. So that's where the motel comes in, okay? So before before you head home for the night, you can actually come to a motel. You can rent out the place for, a couple of hours, do your business, and then go back discreetly to your families. And I think that is probably one of the main reasons, but of course, it is obviously, I think a lot of people use these motels to actually cheat on their spouses, and yeah, it is what it is. That's just how it is here. And if you look at, I've been looking at so many of these YouTube and TikTok clips. The guy or the wife, has been caught red-handed at a motel. There are just hundreds of these videos online where they always catch them at the motels, just because of one person has been suspicious. So I don't know if it's kind of sad, but then again, it's kind of hilarious because it's just, I don't know why so many people, they cheat on their wives or their husbands here in Brazil. I mean, it's mind-boggling how many people actually cheat here. But anyways, back to the whole concept of the motel. The room as well, at a motel room, the rooms are decorated in such a way that they do promote sex, It's all about just getting it on, okay? I mean, it's typical to have like a mirror, plastered in the wall. They'll probably have like a stripping pole. They can have usually there's a really big king-size bed. I've been to some motels where there's actually like a heart-shaped bed, It's like shaped like a heart, or it's just basically round. What they usually also have, they have a big TV, and they have all of these pornographic channels, and also there's usually also a jacuzzi in the room. So, and you can buy all of this extra stuff like massage oils, and they will sell all of these stuff. So you can just basically call up the reception. You can get all of these massage oils, and it will always be stocked up with, condoms and whatever you need, to have a good time, I guess. But it's like really strange because it's something just totally different than what you're used to. But the most interesting part about this whole concept, this whole, the idea of the motel, is that everything is done discreetly. So you will never see the staff. You can reserve online, and as soon as you arrive at the property, you will not for 1 minute, you will see any of the staff working at the motel. So basically, it's just like a big wall. You come up to a gate, and you'll basically just be talking to a microphone. Now, I've documented all this. I'm going to show you exactly how it all works, and but it's actually quite a cool concept. So everything is made so to be as discreet as possible. Every single room, they have a garage that you can park your car, and the door will come straight behind it. So obviously, if there are other people nearby, they cannot walk by your apartment and see your number plates and recognize you. That is the whole idea. There are no windows at the motel. It is all, closed off, so there are no windows. You cannot see inside the rooms. Everything is just done absolutely 100% discreetly. So, like I told you before, usually people, they will only rent these rooms out for 3-4 hours a night. But I've been seeing recently more and more of these motels popping up on booking.com, and I don't think they are able to rent out these rooms by the hour on booking.com. I think it's only as a day-by-day reservations. So I was kind of surprised, like the first time I saw these motels popping up on the search engines, you know, on booking.com and Expedia and all of these engines. And I was quite skeptical at first, but after a while I got really curious as to, you know, how everything worked. And like I told you, when this festival was going on here in Fortaleza, there, you know, it was either the option of staying at a motel for the weekend or just paying a crap load of money for a mediocre hotel room. So this motel that I actually found and I chose, they basically, by the pictures, it looked pretty decent. You could see like they had all these mirrors on the wall and everything, and the lighting was like with black lights and, you know, all of these neon lights in the rooms. The theme was really sexual, but it was one of the motels where it wasn't like over the top, you know, it was a little bit, they had a little bit class. And surprisingly also, breakfast was included. They would actually serve breakfast, and that was included in the price every single day. So I actually booked this room from Friday until Sunday. I'm gonna show you exactly how it all works. So basically, we drive up to the front gate. And I probably passed this motel like a dozen times, but I never realized that there was actually a motel here. It's just so discreet. And as you can see, right up here on the right hand side is our accommodation for the night. Só no quarto número 1.
Podia só me falar o nome? Ah, tá ok, pode entrar, tá bom? Você vai deixar a chave lá.
Tá bom, obrigado. And of course, these are all the garages you can see. And so behind each door here, I don't know if behind each door, but usually when there's guests, the garage door is always closed. And as you can see, at the very end here is my room, and the garage door has been opened for me. So we park our car here, and the garage door, it should close behind me. So there you go. Let's head up the stairs and check out our room. So here we are at our motel room. Now I'm gonna use a microphone here. I'm gonna do a voiceover just because the audio quality on my GoPro is so crap. But anyways, as you can see, we have a large king-size bed here. It's quite dark, you know, I'm sorry about the quality. It's just quite dark. Remember, there are no windows here, and the lighting is, you know, that is the only source of light in the whole room. As you can see, there's a huge LCD TV here, and I'm guessing it's like 70 inches or something. You can't really grasp the size, you know, of everything because of the way the GoPro camera has like a really wide angle, so everything looks a bit smaller. But trust me, this is a huge TV. And apart from all the pornographic channels, you know, they actually had a good selection of movie channels. I mean, it was like a full, you know, full cable TV. A lot of them even with the like in the original English language. As you can see, we had a jacuzzi there as well, quite a large jacuzzi. What's kind of amusing here is a shower. As you can see, there's actually 2 shower heads, so you know, you don't have to share your shower with your girlfriend. You can each have your own shower. It's quite quite amusing. I don't see the point, but you know, if one likes to shower in cold water, the other one wants hot water, you have the option to do that. So you can see here, this is just a small bathroom. And actually this room, it did have a window. It's just like that is the only window located just behind the bathroom there. That is the only window in this room. Coming back, you can see this table with the 2 plastic chairs. That is basically where you sit and have your breakfast, because you do have breakfast in your room. Like I told you, you will never see the staff here at all. You know, everything is done discreetly inside your room. Okay, so what you do here, you have a telephone there right beside the bed. You can call up the day before. You tell them what time you want to be served breakfast, and you have different options as well. You see, there is actually a secret compartment inside here. Okay, so at your scheduled time of that you want to have breakfast, they will actually just knock on the door, and you open this hatch right here, and your breakfast will be already inside. So you just collect your breakfast, right, and you just leave it on the table, and away you go. You have your breakfast. And when you're all done, you just put everything back inside the room. And as you can see, there's actually a door right here. This is an access door. There's no knob, you know, you cannot get inside. But that is basically for the cleaners and everything. If you're away from your room, you can request them to actually change the linens and everything, and they will not use the main entrance. They will use that secret door right there. You know, so for anybody who's never been to a motel here in Brazil, you know, all of this, it takes a little bit of time getting used to, you know, but I mean, I think all motels, they operate the same way. So you've been to a motel and then you kind of figure out how everything works. And here you can see, like in the minibar, you can see everything is like wrapped in plastic. That is also something I've noticed, you know, while staying in motels. And I guess it all makes sense because, you know, you don't want people after, you know, basically doing their business, going through and touching all of the, you know, all of the stuff inside the minibar, because obviously that wouldn't be too pleasant. So they basically wrapped everything inside plastic, and you'll see over here as well, they always leave, you know, fresh linens, you know, spare towels. Everything is like wrapped inside plastic. So even the hair dryer is actually wrapped in plastic. So at least that way you know that everything is disinfected, everything is clean, you know. It's and I guess you know, you need to do that at a place like this, because obviously it would be kind of disgusting, you know, knowing that other people have been there touching all the stuff and you don't, sort of just like a guarantee that everything is clean. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that insight as to how motels work here in Brazil. And I hope this was somewhat interesting. If you like my videos, give me a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to my channel. Always greatly appreciated. So guys, I'm gonna go and pick up my girlfriend. Obviously she didn't want to be a part of this this episode here. But anyways guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode here on the Brazilian Expat. I hope you're all doing fantastic. Stay safe guys, and hopefully I'll see you soon on the next one. Okay, take care, bye bye, ciao.